camera as we were breaking bread, you know, reminiscing, catching up, right? And that was pretty cool, dude. That's the fact that that is something that the fan base and the Fast universe allowed us to be a part of. Come on, special.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't us, you know, we get to be a part of it, but it's the fans going, yeah, man, I want that, you know, I'm down with that. And so we get to exist and continue and play, you know, and who knows, man, you know, there might be some more adventures for the Tokyo Drift crew, right? You know? So,
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'd like to see a spin-off. Do you fancy a spin-off?
I do.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, I love that.
Nice.
Yeah. Go back to some drifting, you know? Go back to
That's
some
right.
raw drifting, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's what I liked about Tokyo Drift too. It was you know, unique because of the drifting, but it's like a real racing movie, you know.
Yeah.
And
and
it was a genuine, real feeling to it. You know, it was believable because of those races and the car scene. So that was awesome.
People love the match, the pairing of the cars to the characters. You know, the Monte Carlo that you drove at the beginning of Fast, Tokyo Drift, it fit Sean's character so well. You know, it's like it's American, like true American, like muscle, but kind of the underdog car. You know, it's not known to be a muscle car, but then under the hood, you know, hey, no nonsense, right?
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. There's no show. It's all go, right? And then you know just simple, beautiful story arc within that race, right? Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. You know? I think very relatable. Is what. You know.
Well, that's what's cool about, I think, Sean's, you know, my character in Tokyo Drift. You know, there's a difference, right, between Sean in America, and then when Sean went to Japan and met Han, and he learned that a different technique of driving is more about feel. You got to keep your emotions calm. You know, Han has this calming spirit, this way of life about him that's gentle and relaxed, and, you know, taking what comes and not getting caught up in the chaos and busyness of life, doing what he loves. And Sean had to learn that, because in America, you know, he was all about, you know, the American muscle, revving up, on emotions, wanting to race everybody, didn't care. You know, everybody get out of my way. I'm going to fix up my car how I want and beat all of y'all, you know. And so it's pretty cool to have, you know, Sean's character, what he had to learn, you know, when he was in America and then Tokyo Drift, and it's like two different characters, and now hopefully we get a sense of in Fast 9 what he has learned, how he's matured, and then reuniting with Han. Hopefully, for me, I want that to come across to all the fans out there, you know.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of Tokyo Drift, you know, you ended up with that gorgeous classic Mustang, but with a Japanese engine in it. There was already a reflection of that change of character, that character progression. That was a badass car. I liked that thing. How much influence did you have over the cars that you drove, like your hero cars? Did you have any like creative influence over them?
No, I didn't. No, that was all done, you know, with the producers and I'm sure Justin Lin. But, you know, when they put the Skyline in the Mustang, you know, I think that was symbolic, you know, of Sean's character for sure. And I was so excited because you know, they taught me how to drift. And I remember telling Justin, like, hey, because they did most of the drifting on, you know, with the stunts on second unit. And I was telling Justin, like, hey, man, I know how to drift. Let me drift, you know, let me drift in front of the camera. And he was like, no, we can't do it. We can't do it. And so one day we are filming in downtown LA at Han's garage, you know, at the scene where, you know, all the garage scenes were filmed in downtown LA. Well, there was this parking lot where they park a bunch of 18-wheelers. Well, I'm like, Justin, come with me. He's like, where are we going? So we get in, I think it was the Nissan Z. The kids were in it. We get in the Nissan Z. I take him to this parking lot and start drifting. And Justin's in the car, and he's like, what are you doing? So we're drifting around, and I'm like, I wanted to show you I know how to drift. And so he's like, man, he's like, okay, I know you want to drift in front of the camera. You want to do it, not the stunt double. So he's like, if there's an opportunity, I'll let you know. And I'm like, all right, yes. So when we're putting the Skyline in the Mustang, and we're practicing, right? We're tuning it up, Twinkie and I, and we're all tuning it up, trying to get ready for this race. Justin comes up to me. I'm following this car. The camera is on a crane on this car, and he comes up to me and he goes, Lucas, now's your.
I crashed the Viper. That's a hard part to drift.
It is. It is.
And I was panicking. I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to pay for this or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get fired. And the guy came up to me and I go, I'm sorry. And he goes, it's not my car. And I'm like, huh? And he goes, yeah, man, there's a whole bunch of them. Just like, hey, that's the whole point. Like, who cares? And he's like, there's more. And I was like, cool.
So you're not a self-keys. How do I get in on this? I feel like I'm missing out. This is ridiculous.
Dude, that moment, right? I was in the wall and the guy comes up. I was like, oh man, I'm in trouble. And I take off my helmet. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, I'm sorry. And he goes, you okay? I go, I'm okay. I go, dude, I'm so sorry. And he goes, I don't care. It's not my car. I was like, awesome.
I know.
Let's go. Yeah.
The picture car guys were incredible. You had one on your podcast, right? Who'd you just have on?
Oh, Larry Chen. We had Larry Chen on.
Larry.
Okay. Well,
he was in a picture car. Yeah, that was Dennis.
Okay.
Remember Dennis?
Yeah, Dennis. And so I drove. One of my favorite memories is I got in that. We were at Universal Studio, and I got in that Dodge Viper, and they were filming. And I would drive it and backstage live and try to drift that thing, because it was a V12. I mean, it was a beast. And so Desperate Housewives were filming at Universal Studios, and they had their base camp like right there at backstage, and I would go through their base camp. I'm talking about ripping it, just burning. I would stomp it. All those actresses coming out like, what's going on? What's going on, man? I loved it. Yeah. I got in too much trouble. I got in so much trouble in that movie, man. Oh, I remember just coming back like, oh man, I probably shouldn't have done that.
You had a hall pass because you were 24. Like, what could you do? One could really be upset. I remember we, during lunch, we'd be looking for, we're getting ready to shoot again, and Lucas is gone, and you just hear the car like drift. He just took off. He's just gone. But because they were worried he was gonna get hurt, and then we have no movie, right? But then he would make it back. It was, you just kind of at that time, you just kind of, you just let him do that.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
It's like a kid that needs to go to run around.
I was a punk kid, man. Appreciate you being patient with me, son. Hey, you taught me a lot. Not only in in front of the camera, but also off the camera. So appreciate it, man.
Of course, yeah.
Do you watch Formula Drift?
I don't actually. I don't.
You'd like it. I'm going to try and hook you up with a drifter. Because that'd be amazing. I want to see this. Absolutely. I want to see this in serious drifting. That'd be amazing.
Dude,
let's do it.
People these drifters would love you, because since we started shooting Tokyo Drift, drifting has become so global, and then at one time it was, you had to have a lot of money to do it, right? Yeah. And what's cool is you go to North Carolina or Georgia or Kentucky, and you'll see dude out there like working on a Nissan, right? And that's his drift car, or a Mustang or something. But then, you know, he spent time in Japan, and he always talks about Tokyo Drift, man. You know, because he sees himself in you, like an outsider, because he was in the military, and when he was in Tokyo, he was like, I want to participate in the car culture, but you know, will they let me? Will they let a guy Jin? And then they're like, they see Tokyo Drift, and they're like, I'm Sean. I'm Sean Boswell. So I mean, they actually tell me these stories because they were probably like, you know, 13 when the movie came out, and then, you know, after high school they go to the military and they go to Japan or something. So in their head,
that's awesome.
They love Japanese cars, and Tokyo Drift was their, I guess, you know, their inspiration or their confidence, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can too also do something like that, right? So
man, that's awesome.
Dude, so the amount of drifters, it's so diverse now, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, you're like, where are you from? And they're like, I'm from Kentucky. You go, you guys drift in Kentucky? They're like, yeah, because we love Tokyo Drift. Boom! Right? And you go, dang, drop the mic, man.
That's
like,
awesome.
Amazing, you know?
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yep.
What do you drive in real life, Lucas?
I drive a pickup truck. And the reason I drive a pickup truck is because I don't want to be tempted to try to drift out there on the road. Because I know my weakness. I know my weakness. And if I had a car that I could drift in, it would not be good. My wife would be upset at me all the time. She'd be like, we got kids, you're putting yourself in danger. And I would probably have a run-in with the law or two. So I can't be tempted to drift, you know. Yep.
Have you seen Sung's Grand National? That car is gorgeous. That Grand National.
Which one is it? The Grand National?
Yeah, the black Grand National that Sung owns.
Oh, nice,
buddy.
Nice.
I name all my cars, so that one is buddy.
I think I saw it. I saw it on your Instagram the other day on your live. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful car. Loved. It's, you know, Buick mechanic, worked on it his whole life, and then he was auditioning people to, you know, buy the car, right? Like not anybody could just buy it because the price was too good, and so he wanted somebody that would like be a caretaker. And dude, it's like cool because, you know, it's not about the money. I was like, man, he's really selling this for cheap. I could just sell it tomorrow for probably double the money, right? If that's who I was. But then you see a guy who, you know, has so much of his life wrapped around the history of a car, and he wants to maintain it or have someone that can maintain it and has the time and the resources to maintain it and appreciate it the way he appreciated it. It was like an honor, like to be, you know, that a car to be passed, you know, down to you, you know, from an older gentleman, and just to be able to share that, dude. And it's crazy. So he's a Buick mechanic for life, right? And then before he retired, he was like the GTR mechanic for the Bay Area of Southern California. So he touched like every new GTR that came into, like, you know, that area. So he went from Grand Nationals to GTRs. Like crazy, right? Like, right? It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is.